Well, the topic of this video is very much different from how I started the video because it's about taxes, and that is usually not that much fun. But who says we can't have fun talking about it anyways? Or at least, well, let's see. So what I want to share about this topic is that I recently finished my tax report in Germany, and I submitted everything, and I was thinking, wow, this was super easy. Finally, we can do the whole tax process online, and we don't actually have to bring any paper to the office of the tax bureau. Well, at least for the most part, I was done. Because a couple of days later, I actually got a letter, and luckily I have someone at an address in Germany where I can receive letters even though I'm not in Germany, and I can get those sent in Telegram and take a photo of it. But basically what happened is that there was a document missing, and one of the parts, and it's basically because I'm not just an employee, I am running a business. They wanted to have a extra document to know how much I spent and how much I earned specifically. And so I had to give them that document specifically as a extra thing. Now the problem with this whole thing is that I tend to be relatively scared about everything that has to do with taxes or police or anything that could end up with a fine or something like that. And at the point where I am in my life right now, it's not yet really feasible to have tax support or an accountant for my own business. So I'm stuck in this middle space where I do my own taxes, and it's not really necessary to have anybody else do them with me or for me. But at the same time, I'm always held back by this fear that I could do something wrong. And I don't really like that feeling, and I'm aware of the fact that there's pretty much nothing that I can do except for get external help with someone who knows what they're doing, and they then can go through it with me step by step and tell me what documents they need for which segment and how I can treat certain aspects of my business. And it's definitely something that I am working towards, and I see this negative experience or this negative feeling as a driving force to get my business forward instead of stalling where I am right now. I want to move on from where I am right now to places where I finally have the income that then also it makes sense to get a tax support person, for example. For now, I want to leave you with this. Germany specifically, and probably many other countries, are a pain in the ass if it comes to starting your own business, and especially doing so on a low budget. But you also have to learn a lot about running your business, doing the taxes, registering your business, and all that kind of stuff. And my personal opinion is that that could be much, much easier for everybody involved. And it also, and this is a big part of it, it could alleviate a lot of the stress and a lot of the fear that prevents people from starting businesses. Because my opinion is that if we don't start businesses, we don't have people that can work in other businesses, and the creation of new companies and businesses is actually the creation of wealth for a country as well. So it would be really, really helpful if more people were enticed to do that. Of course, it's not the only thing that can entice people to have it a little easier. There's a lot of things that are also in the school system, universities, generally the general public being a little more fear-driven, specifically in Germany, to prevent others from going into their own business or making something successful themselves. But I think one of the big aspects could be taxation and other things like the company registration and stuff like that. I've heard systems in other countries where, for example, you just work your business for 1 or 2 years, and you're not really taxed at all in those first 2 years because you're considered a small company and you're building something and you're starting out. You don't have necessarily the time or the finances to actually do something with taxes and registration and all that kind of stuff. That can come later because you have to build something first. You have to be with customers and you have to provide a service, you get money in return and stuff like that. But once you have that going, you can look back and start the accounting. You can go into the documentation of everything. You can register the company and all that stuff. In Germany, from what I know, you have to actually have the company registered before having the first client connection before writing your first invoice and all that kind of stuff. And it is a real pressure point where you might want to just try something out. But if you do all of these steps before you can try it, well, you might as well not do it at all, because it might fail and then you have invested all this stuff just to fall short of what you wanted to do in the first place. So all of this to say that for me, taxes are a scary thing, even after years of doing my own business and starting and doing stuff and moving forward on those things. They're not getting easier. I don't have more fun doing them. It's all a matter of just building towards this specific point in the future where everything like that can be taken care of by someone else. And I'm very much looking forward to that. But that also has something that I am about to share in the next few weeks, which will change a lot of things on this channel and with what I'm doing and how I will go into 2019, because I'm having big plans for this upcoming year. And I think that this specific problem of not having an accountant or a tax support person, this problem will be solved within half a year or less. But all of that will be part of a completely different video and part of a new story that will be a topic for later. For now, I'm really interested if you have any stories about taxation, how you feel about it. Do you run your own business and how do you cope with this? Do you have a tax support person? Do you know someone who is really good, especially for small business owners or people that do YouTube and online services, like all of this kind of stuff that is also very new. This is a little other problem that I've run into, is that oftentimes, specifically in businesses like tax support or even legal rights support, oftentimes people are not prepared. Like the lawyers and the tax accountants and stuff like that, they're not prepared to handle someone who is traveling the world constantly, as well as doing business with all kinds of people around the world, and then having to pay taxes on that kind of stuff and understanding all that. And that is not necessarily something that is very normal, because the hairdresser or the carpenter or the web developer who is only working with local clients is a very different situation. So if you know anybody, I would like to maybe get some contact details, share them, or just PM me and contact me on my website. There's also my email address if you want to have a little bit more of a private conversation. But all of those things are something to be figured out, and it's not something that is very easy. And it will definitely stick around for a while. And that's it for today. I think it's dark enough. It's a topic that is not very enjoyable, but it is something that will be different in the future, and that's a good thing. Have a good day, and I will see you in a new video on this channel. I think there's a lot of them, so you can kind of like search your way around. There might be a couple interesting ones in between. Have a good one. Bye.